What is up, YouTube? As you can see, we are in a power outage, and I wanted to kind of share what the app is like and give some tips when investing or looking to invest in solar. That, of course, having power walls is very helpful. There's about 1,300 people, I guess, according to SRP, that don't have power. We're in a storm. It's about 6 a.m. and there was heavy AC usage yesterday in the home, so we used a lot of power over the last week. We have been this whole week. Here's kind of the production and usage. The good news and the goal with SRP is not to offset 100%. You can if you have the means, but it's very expensive to buy enough panels to kind of offset your full usage. I'm only in a 1,600 square foot home, powering one car, and as you can see during peak summer right now, when we're average temperature is getting close to 110, sometimes higher, the electricity usage is between 70 and 100 kilowatt hours. Last year, I had a I had a single stage AC, very old, maybe 20 years old, pulling a lot more power. Wasn't very efficient. At least 20 years later, at the time it was, and my electricity usage was actually much higher, maybe 20, 30% higher. So this new AC has actually been very helpful, and I invested in new insulation. And the result of that is actually very positive. So normally right now, so I'm at 29%. I finished the day yesterday. The goal is with SRP is to get your avoid demand charges, which is basically do not pull power from the grid between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. during the summer. And in order to do that, you have to have enough panels to offset your usage, which of course doesn't carry you through to 8 o'clock since there's no sun, or very little between 6 and 8 o'clock. Then you use a power wall or a battery to push you through to that time. But the problem is because the AC has to run at full tilt during the summer, it is very likely your power wall will be fully depleted by 8 o'clock, which happened last year. Like a dozen occasions, I only got it to zero, or I actually had to turn the AC off hours before I could, which the house is really heating up. And I'm just like, man, just wait till 8 o'clock before we can turn the AC on because the charges are so outrageous from SRP. Um, you really have to do that and just, suffer through the heat a little bit so that you can turn the AC on. So new installation, new AC. Now, during a day that was at 108, 109 yesterday, I finished with 33% power, 32, 33% by 8 o'clock, which was wonderful because the power wall based on your settings will kick over to grid usage, which is fine. And I had 33% left. So right now we're sitting at 29%. I'm using about 300 watts or zero point 0.3 kilowatts right now. Based on the total capacity of the Powerwall, which is 13 and a half, this should last me about 7 to 8 more hours. This will fluctuate. My 300 watts will change to 4 or 500, depending on us turning on a laptop, initially TV, or maybe we're going to make some coffee here in the morning. But really not worried about the power outage because this was a seamless cutover. Woke up in the morning and the power was on. We're one of the few homes, probably the only that I know on the block that still has power. I have people, family mile away that still has power, which is good. But this is something that when you are investing in solar, you need to think about that if you are dealing with peak times and using the power wall during the day to discharge. So this could apply around the country, around the world. Having a time of use power plan can really save you money, right? Because you want that off peak to charge the car, to use power, but you need to make sure your power wall can carry you through that and understand the risk you're taking, where if it does deplete and you have a power outage like I'm experiencing right now, will you have enough power to power the home? And it may be worth that peace of mind to invest in an additional power wall if your current one is only enough to kind of carry you through the peak time and you're ending up with very low power as backup. The other benefit, which is a little bit less of a concern with the new Powerwall Plus, which is Powerwalls that have been made recently. Tesla upgraded them, I think, with different batteries. I think it has the same capacity, but the main usage in the real world that will affect you is it will allow for like surge, or that's not the right term, like more peak power. So right now it's 5 kilowatt pull max, but if I have the AC running on its second stage, I have a laptop or a computer other power items that are running, it can easily go above the 5 kilowatt max. And at 7 or 6:30 when the sun's down, it's going to start pulling from the grid, and I'm going to start to incur those peak times or demand charges, which is really annoying. So the newer power walls actually allow you to go to like 7 kilowatts, I believe, but that would actually be perfect. I would even allow it to 6, but mine's a little bit too old. So a second power wall would have offset that, or the new power wall plus. So I hope this was helpful. This is going to revert on its own. As you can see, the grid is out. We're not producing solar and won't through the storm as there's too much cloud cover, but this was a seamless cutover. It has been, I've had about half a dozen um, power outages. Some of them lasted half an hour, some of them a few hours over the last 2 years. And we have underground um, cables in our neighborhood, but this is some impact that's happening further away. I hope this was helpful, and best of luck to you, and stay safe if you're going through the storm yourself and you don't have power. This is something that we just have had a lot of peace of mind through these outages in the past. So thanks so much, and talk to you in the next one. Take care.